Hello, I'm Philip Stoten. I'm here on the Scoop studio at SMT Nuremberg, and I'm joined by Keith Bryant from YXLON. Keith, great to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Lots going on in the X-ray market. One of the things that seems to be vexing people, particularly at the moment, is counterfeit, and how do they deal with counterfeit components? Are you seeing more people asking that question?
Yeah, it's basically the counterfeiters become more and more intelligent, and that makes it harder and harder for the people to spot everything. And yeah, it's becoming more and more of a nightmare. We're running at a situation at the moment where lead times are going through the roof for a lot of, let's say, not even really ultra specialist components, but any non-standard stuff is on 10 months, 12 months, so everybody's going back to the grey market. The grey market opens the doors for the counterfeiters.
It's dangerous stuff, isn't it? And when you look at those counterfeit protection solutions, part of it is being able to manage your supply chain, but maybe you are a little bit off-piste on your supply chain. How can X-ray help with that situation?
Well, the advantage of X-ray is you can see what's inside. A lot of people are what we call blacktopping the components. They're taking off the labeling and they're reprinting them, and the quality of the reprinting is now getting so good that it's very hard to spot something that has actually been doctored. And inside you find the die is different, the lead outs are different, the gold wires are going to different places. When we started in the early days, effectively we used to find dummy components which were empty. But now those are too expensive for the counterfeiters to use, so they're using basically second user stuff. They're using the cheaper versions of the same, with the same lead out in terms of legs, and they're doing all sorts of stuff. And the funniest one now is that you're seeing the first 50 components on a reel are genuine, and after that they're all garbage.
Yeah, so that's a challenge in itself, isn't it? Because you might buy them in stock, use a few, and you're not going to see those counterfeits till later in a production.
Yeah, and you've probably bought them from somewhere in the grey market and you've got absolutely no comeback. And we went through a phase a couple of years ago where people were starting to own up to, I've bought these components from X and they were counterfeit, and that whole thing seems to have stopped now. And that was starting to carry some momentum, but the problem is everything comes through a chain, and any link in that chain can be the problem, and it's very hard to do it, and blaming the guy you bought them from is really tough because he probably bought them in good faith as well.
Yeah, it goes all the way back down the supply chain. So what else is challenging the X-ray market at the moment, and what's new with YXLON at SMT Nuremberg?
Well, new with YXLON at SMT Nuremberg, to be honest, we don't have any new machines. We have, like everybody, we're continually improving our software. Voiding is becoming, for everybody, a bigger and bigger issue. We're working with technology partners who are in the reflow industry to help them demonstrate their capabilities. Obviously, vacuum reflow is becoming a big talking point. And also, the wonderful Industry 4.0 connectivity. We've got a production line here that's demonstrating some really good things in terms of connecting equipment together. So maybe now people are going to start doing it rather than talking about it.
Yeah, there does seem to be a little bit more momentum in that, and it is time to walk the walk rather than talk the talk on that. When you look at those solutions, is that something that plays very well into what you're doing with the Comet group and the larger group as a whole?
Yeah, it does a little bit. I mean, we're looking at, obviously, making everything that we can more intelligent. Within YXLON we have a team of people who are working on 4.0. We've even started to look at some AI type projects that are even more out there. So I'm happy that I'm with a company who's looking forwards and looking at this stuff. Whether it's going to happen and when it's going to happen, we're not sure. But the 4.0 and at least connectivity within the inspection industry, pretty much we're there. We have some good demo sites running around the world at major players, and on the back of that, hopefully we're going to have something we can take to the market as a solid product and say this is going to help you by X amount of yield, and then we're back into the real world rather than talking about what may happen.
Yeah, and it's having that tangible ROI those key performance indicators that will make people kick projects off. So that's really valuable. And being a progressive company. Keith, thanks for stopping by. Always a pleasure to chat, and enjoy the rest of the show. Thank you.
Anytime at all, Phil.